I think that generally concludes my facilities update for tonight.
Questions? Go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman Baines. Can you hear me, Forrest? I don't know if the acoustics are off. Can't quite hear me. So I'm glad to hear that the schools that were not originally included in the audit were then included in the audit, because we're talking about schools that are still not going to be complete for 2+ years. I was in Hillside for a Builders Club event around Easter, and we were in the locker rooms moving chairs. And I think 4 years on this board, you guys know I'm pretty even-keeled. So when I say I was kind of shocked by the condition of cleanliness in the locker rooms, that's not an overstatement. I was actually shocked by the condition and the cleanliness of the locker rooms. And so I did reach out to the principal, and he said, come on in, let's take a walk around the building. And so I went in the other day, and I have got to tell you that maybe it's me and I don't know what the definition of Apple One cleanliness is, but the bathrooms are not clean. And I am not trying to be dramatic. I am just stating a fact. I was compelled to take photographs. They are not clean, and they're definitely not Apple One clean. They were gross. The boys' bathroom had no soap dispenser. 0 soap dispenser. So I don't know how many times I'm going to come to a committee meeting that on the title says facilities, and I'm going to say the same thing every month, that the schools are not as clean as they need to be. And I'm not really sure, I feel like I've exhausted my ability to continually say the schools aren't clean enough. And I know I see Miss Espinola back there, and she knows. I've messaged her all winter long. Every time I went to a basketball game at Southside, I'd say, the mirrors are dirty, the toilets are dirty, the sink is dirty, the things are broken. And our students deserve better. It is gross, and I'm not sure what to do at this point. So I'm leaning on whoever has the ability. Like, I'm happy that the bar is moving a little bit. Like, I'm happy to see this report that we've had a review of restrooms. The number was 264. Facilities are taking some ownership. Aramark's taking some ownership. But I feel like it's like this crazy world that I live in where I'm like, well, they're still not clean. And I keep saying they're not clean. And then we get a go spot check report from Aramark that says everything's so clean. It's not clean. And I hope you can feel my frustration. I don't know what to do next. I'm truly frustrated by this.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter.
I did make it a point to contact Aramark specifically about Hillside this afternoon, because I did hear about that there were concerns there. Then while that's not the first time I'm hearing about it, it's the first time that I'm hearing about it since I gave the direction for the remediation work to be assessed by the school administrators and submitted. So I specifically went to Aramark today, and I directed Aramark, get into Hillside and make sure that they're doing a thorough assessment and letting me know what's going on.
And I don't mean for this to be, I'm not blaming the administration at Southside, I'm not blaming the administration at Hillside. Everyone is pulling on the same rope here, but I do feel very frustrated that we have come to a point of complacency that level of filth is acceptable. It's not acceptable.
I share that frustration completely, because as a former principal in this district, I know that I had the responsibility and I had the authority to work directly with Aramark and say, I want something done, or to work with the facilities department and say, I want this fixed. And while sometimes things get away, generally, that is not something I ever was challenged to do. Mm-hmm. And that they were responsive when they're asked about and pushed on those things. Now, we have an expectation that things are supposed to be a certain way, and if that's not being met, then we need to be very clear and immediately clear in the time frame it's happening. Mm-hmm. So, especially if you're going to be in there for a public event, we should be taking a look at our buildings and saying, okay, we have a concert tonight, we have this, that, or the other thing. Are we ready for that? And so not only should we be ready all the time, but certainly on those events things. So I share your frustration, and I hear that, and I will again pass it on to the folks who see it every day, and ask them to increase their vigilance and their level of expectation.
I appreciate that. I'm seriously, I'm like at the end of my rope with and I know because I'm checking $404,000 a month. I'm watching the city invoices. I know we're paying I know we're paying them, and I don't mean to finger point at anyone in particular, but we've come to just an acceptable level from many different angles that this is okay, and then our kids go and they use the bathroom, and it clearly sends a message that no one cares, and then it's a feedback loop where then they don't care. So then we've got graffiti and we've got more broken things because clearly we don't even care enough to put a soap dispenser in there. And I get it. Someone might knock it down. We need to put it up again because there are kids in that building that want to wash their hands. And we are not going to lower the bar to say, well, because one kid keeps knocking it down, no one gets to wash their hands. That's also unacceptable. So I don't know how long it's been down, and I don't mean to point at Hillside. I'm sure that this is systemic. So I'm using Hillside as an example because my daughter's there and I happen to be in the building, but I guarantee you go to any other school, and you've heard me talk about Central, there are problems in our facilities, and they cannot wait for us to close a high school, rebuild a new high school, add a renovation, add a modular. We have to do it tomorrow. We should have done it yesterday. So I hope this passion translates. You can use me as the bad guy, be like, Julie's really mad, you should watch the facilities meeting. I don't care who you need to show this to, but I'm done coming to this microphone saying that our buildings are not clean enough.
Just to emphasize that, I do not, as a former high school principal, I don't think it's too much to ask the principal, you've been a principal too, to make sure these issues are addressed. You spend a lot of time in a building. Some principals get in the building at 6:30 in the morning. And just to add some levity to this very serious conversation, when Gene Ross was principal at was now MSD, he was having a problem with graffiti in the restrooms. So he went out and bought some paint. And every day he'd come in and he removed the graffiti. And it went on and on and on. Finally, he made his own graffiti and he wrote, "I have more paint than you do." It's a true story. And it stopped. So anyway, I think principals have to address those issues. You hear the passion of the board members. When you have students in schools, when you keep things clean and neat, that they tend to respect it. If they're not respected, they tend, not all of them, but some tend to, well, I'll just add some graffiti to it. I'll just knock another soap dispenser down. So I know it's a challenging issue, but it needs to be addressed. Woman's soul.
Yes, and I would like to reiterate what Committee Member Turner said. I have been 4 months talking about this, and nothing has been done. The survey's fine, but go to the bathrooms and see what they're like. And I think the thing that bothers me the most, I don't get into the locker rooms and those, but I go to events, the arts events and the band events, and to see the toilets across from the auditoriums and cafeterias filthy, as well as things hanging from that haven't been taken out from the toilet paper dispensers, and all the awful paint. It's just terrible. And I think the thing that frustrates me is we see it and we've told you and no one's done anything. A survey, you knew at least 4 months ago that these were issues.
You brought this up in March initially at the March meeting.
Oh, I brought it
And
even before that.
and when that first came up, I initiated the restroom audit with everybody, and the focus should have been getting that ready, and most of that hopefully has been addressed. There were a couple of schools that I honestly, and I've been upfront, didn't include because of some of the imminent renovation issues. But however, even those weren't included, I did instruct those principals to treat their buildings the same way as the survey would have done. So I will get feedback.
Right.
Again from my principals.
I would like to recommend that you go see it for yourself. You need to see what we're talking about. Don't you think so, Committeemember Turner? I think it's really important. We can talk about it, but we've seen it. We know what it's like. And we want our students to respect our facilities. And we have MTSSB, they're ready and willing to help our students respect our facilities. But until we take the initiative, that's not going to happen. But people need to go out and really see them. I'm hoping, tomorrow night, I'm going to the band concert at Central. I can't wait to go in and see what that bathroom looks like. And when I first brought this up, that was the first thing, one of the first things I said. When you have events at night, what you need to do is take an extra time to make sure the bathroom facilities around the events are taken care of. So, but enough said. Well, hopefully something will be done. Thank you.
Take pictures.
I did.
Okay. I think we've beat that horse pretty well.
Can I give the horse one little slap?
Yes, okay.
Because it's getting late and the horse is getting tired. I just want, I'm just looking, I went back, and I didn't share these with the administration, so I apologize. But I get tired of doing it. I'm just looking at photographs right here from Central High School. I was at an event, I was there last night. It was good to see the new sound system and the new light system coming up. It's not all finished, but it was really nice to see that. Transformational after all these years. But the parking garage and the corridor, the underground corridor from the parking garage. Mr. Chairman, I was there last month for an event, and I've got photographs right here I can show you. The plastic bags, the garbage, the dirt. Nobody had put a broom to that in a long time. It didn't show up there one morning. It was just an accumulation of neglect, and the public is driving into that parking garage, coming from other towns to the oldest public high school in the state, and they walk in and they're treated to papers, just detritus all the way along the corridor as you walk in. And we're paying Aramark $400,000 a month, $4 million a year to clean our schools, and we have to sit here every quarter and listen to happy claptrap about surveys and how they're giving themselves, because they mark themselves, by the way. I don't know if you had your students do this at West, Mr. Chairman, but when you ask them to mark themselves, it's amazing how good a grade they give themselves. So they usually get A pluses, often 98, 97%. Right here says it's an F. So it took a long time to get where we are. I know there's been some improvements. My worry is this. We're looking at a budget on Monday night. One of the budget items that's likely, I presume, it may well happen, is that we're going to reduce the APA requirements as one of the ways, as we did before, of saving money on the RMR contract. Today, we're on APA 1, which is meant to be that our public spaces in our schools, according to RMR, are at the same quality as hospital rooms with patients in them. That's the cleanliness level. And so there's no excuse for what we're actually getting under that. I worry, to be honest, that what's going to happen when we say, okay, we'll go down to APA 2, and now we'll be told another load of happy horse clap that says, there's bags and dirt all over the place because we went down to APA thing. I frankly, I don't want to be unkind to our vendor, but the management of the vendor, or at some point, the vendor's not performing to our expectations, and I'm tired of the rhetoric from them. They're not performing, and so maybe we should be looking at what Bedford does and what Concord does and what other towns do, and go back to where we used to be, where we had public employees paid by the school district being paid to clean our schools, and so we have direct control. But it's getting late. Thank you, Your Honor.
You got the point, Mr. Repsol?
I got the point long time ago.